Taking your eyes off your security or having a bit of laxity means that you could have some serious security problems during this festive season. And so how do you protect yourself, your valuables and your loved ones this season where a lot of people have merry hearts? Hello, good evening and welcome to Agenda. My name is Beatrice Adu and tonight we want to look at the trends in terms of security issues and how to protect everything that has to do with you. I do have on the panel with me DSP Richmond Mensah, Staff Officer, Police Public Affairs Department of the Ghana Police Service. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Of course, I have in the studio as well with us Mutaru Mumuni Mukhtar. He's Executive Director, West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism. Good evening to you, sir. It's great to see you.
Thank you. Good evening.
I was saying earlier, we've been speaking on Zoom and phone for a very long time. It's great to finally have you in studio with us, sir.
I'm happy to see you today.
Yes, of course, we are joined as well via video call by Mr. Richard Kumado. He is a fraud and security consultant. Mr. Kumado, if you can hear us, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us as well on Agenda.
Thank you, Beatrice. I can hear you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Let me start with you, DSP. If you can tell us really what information you have picked as regards the security situation this festive season as the Ghana Police Service and really what we need to pay attention to.
Right, thank you very much, Beatrice. Before I talk about it, I think it is very important for me to first and foremost outline some of the security arrangements that as a police service we've put in place towards this festive season. The police administration, we have intensified our patrol across the country, both at the regional level, at the divisional level, and at the district level as well. We've also intensified our patrols in all the regionals, the cities, as well as our highways. Highway is very, very important. You can recall that sometimes when we are getting to these seasons like this, that is where crime a bit goes up. So highway robberies, we've intensified our patrols over there. We've also intensified our patrols in the various communities. We have the motorbike patrols as well. We have also our CID men and women who will be in plain clothes, and we'll spread all of them in our various communities. They will pick the intelligence and then feed those in the uniform so that we can effect so many arrests. There is also going to be what we call snap checks, random snap checks, stop and then check, so that at least we'll be able to identify those behind, pickpocketing and all those things. So these are some of the things we have put in place. We have also put in place random swoops. So if you look at some of the criminal dens, we'll be conducting swoops and all those things so that we'll be able to at least bring crime to the barest minimum this festive season so that the entire Ghanaians can go about and then celebrate the
So what you're claiming is that in the 16 regions, which have about 276 constituencies, I mean, we call them joint elections, you have your men all across such that if something is happening in a tiny community, you're sure that you respond to that matter in the quickest possible time? Sure.
So politically, we have 16 regions, but for the police, for the Ghana Police Service, we've been able to zone it, and then we have 25 regions, police regions. So politically, we have 16, but we have zoned it to 25, so that it will be easy for us to police the entire region. So we have our men on the ground who will assist each and every one so that all of us will go about and then celebrate the Xmas.
So now the question I asked you earlier, which is what kind of information you have picked as regards some security red flags that are currently in the system that we should know as people?
Yes, you know, we all agree with that, that when we are going closer to the Yuletide, you agree that crime normally goes up because we have a lot of people traveling in and around the country and all those things. So it is very important. That is why the police administration took the opportunity to zone the entire police regions into 25 and also saturate our various communities, increasing our police patrol police motorbike patrols, as well as increasing our plainclothes personnel in all the police regions so that we'll be able to reduce crime for all of us to enjoy the Xmas.
I'll come back to you, DSP, but I'm coming to you now, Mr. Mukhtar, because I know your organization also monitors the kind of security threats we have in our system. What have you picked yourself?
Well, good evening to you and good evening to your listeners and viewers. And I'm happy to see you today. Yes, the crime, or the typology of crimes that we're looking at significantly, it's changing. And it's changing on various factors. Depending on the seasons, we see different typology of crimes that have become very popular. And it's normal all over the world. These are trends that are associated with events and the environment. So, for instance, during Valentine, you often see crimes relating to sexual abuse spike. When it comes to issues of, Christmas, you would often see crimes relating to theft being the single, overriding, incident. And so it's determined and shaped by the circumstances, the events, and the surroundings. And so what we're looking at is the increase in numbers of theft cases in the country, numbers of, cyber crime related activities, because this is a season associated with, celebrations and all of that, people looking to spend, people looking to enjoy time and all of that. At the moment, we haven't, from our center, we haven't seen any, established trend in terms of what category of crimes are, popular. We're seeing a mix of those, and we just saw, the incident relating to the Diasporan Summit when, thefts, were happening on several fronts. And of course, they were arrested, the individuals involved were arrested relating to thefts relating to mobile phones, iPads, credit cards and things like that. These are opportunistic crimes that happen around events. And so we are yet to establish a trend in terms of what particular type of crime is popular associated with it. But we can predict based on what has happened in the past and other regions. We would see a spike in terms of numbers of theft cases, opportunistic crimes, break into homes. We will see a lot of break-ins in homes. Today in Ghana, we're seeing a popular trend of vacation homes. So people travel and spend time away from their traditional homes. And when they are empty, criminals can take advantage of that and break into those homes. There were break-ins in terms of cars. People go make purchases at the shopping centers, the market centers, and all of those. If you're not very deliberate and very sensitive to the environment, you would experience those things because criminals are always looking for, situations like that to exploit. So
in terms of the vacation homes, perhaps the caution is that if you're leaving, at least ensure that you have adequate security in your original home.
Yes, and now, it's a great time because we have a lot of options in terms of managing security in spite of the sophistication in crimes. And so using digital technology, you can actually monitor what's happening within your home, away from home, and you can tell in real time what's going on at home. You can also blend that with traditional security measures where you inform neighbors around you, trusted neighbors, to keep watch over your home. You can use technology in terms of, timers, lighting system in place, and you deliberately choose when to keep the lights on just to create, a sense of presence at home, even when you are not at home. So there are a lot of, options in terms of managing security, and we have to be very deliberate about that.
We have to be very deliberate about that. I'll come to you very shortly, Mr. Kumadu, but let me ask you this, Mr. Mukhtar, because although you say that we don't have any established trend as at now, we're hearing that in Tamale, for instance, there's a case of baby theft and it's on the rise. Tamale, in the northern part of the country, you also do a lot of works around the border towns and border areas. Really, do you have an idea why this could be happening in that part of the country?
Well, baby thefts are not specifically associated with the northern part of the country. It's all over the country. And of course, we're seeing that happen now in Tamale. I was on some platforms discussing what happened in Tamale. We haven't, we're yet to say that it's a big trend in Tamale. This is not the first time it has happened, but it's not a big trend yet in Tamale or in the northern part of the country. But we are very communal people. We are very social people. And people could take advantage of that, exploit that kind of, what we might consider as social resilience in our security context, and exploit that. Because if you look at what happened, the incident that happened, the person took advantage of the fact that people are, open, people are communal, and that things like this are not expected in that space, and took, away the baby. And I'm hoping that we are able to apprehend the perpetrator in this case. But I mean, it's not just because of the festive season. We have to increase our sense of awareness and vigilance around us, our environment, in dealing with every aspect of our lives, not just babies, but everything that we do. We need to increase our sense of security vigilance and ensuring that we shield ourselves from such eventualities.
Mr. Kumado, you heard the police officer giving us details as regards what the police administration is doing. He says that the police service has intensified patrols across the country, communities, highways, among others. Do you see these as adequate to protect all of us during this period?
Definitely, yes. I think they are determined in making sure that security assurances are provided largely to the larger communities in Ghana, and to ensure that security breaches are dealt with as quickly as possible. So you can see the numbers out there. From 1st December to where we are today, my checks within the security intelligence agencies means that the police are prepared. They want to put out as many men out there as possible. They want to have as many undercover agents out there as possible. And working together with the DNI and the other guys in the playing club, if they get the strategy right, they will be able to do a good job. But so far, so good, and kudos to the Ghana Police Service. What
more would you expect in terms of the kind of activities we're seeing now? Of course, in addition to cyber security crime and really what the security agencies must do?
So there are 3 things that are happening between December 1st to where we are now. Online fraud is a major thing that has started across the country. Identity theft is the other one. There's likely to be some level of car theft. Then human trafficking in various forms. These are the 4 categories of the category of crimes that is going to happen or that has taken place from 1st December to where we are now within the checks, within the security intelligence community. Now, when it comes to events, it's my prayer that event organizers are going to speak to the police in advance. They are going to have those discussions where the police are going to provide counseling and they'll provide some guidance as to what to do, what not to do. That is going to help event organizers. Then again, some of the venues in the country do not support the type of events we want to put in there. It means that we will still need the police to come in there. If it is not a national event where you are going to have large numbers of the police, then you will need to get to the 3rd floor of the IGP's block and speak to the man in charge of security when it comes to private security management. On the part of patrons or on the part of people who want to attend some of these events, event due diligence is so much important, and so that you do not get to the wrong places at the wrong times, you do not fall in the wrong hands, and you do not get involved in things that you are not familiar with. Having said that, when your back is against the wall, the police is the first point of contact. And to the extent that that becomes a shared responsibility between patrons who want to attend some of these programs, then the event organizers and the police, if we all take our responsibilities properly and share it equally, we will be fine. And people wouldn't have much problems during this festive season.
You were making a point earlier about cybercrime, and I want to read some information to you. And it says that aggregate data from the Bank of Ghana shows that financial system lost approximately 88 million Ghana cedis to fraud in 2023 across banks, specialized deposit taking institutions, and payment system providers. Now, despite a marginal decline in the number of new cases, the following year, which was just last year, the value at risk climbed 13% to reach 99 million Ghana cedis in 2024. How bad do you anticipate this happening, especially at the time when a lot of people are also going to be doing bank, transfers and purchases and all of that?
We entreat the central bank, we entreat the governor, we entreat the head of FIC, to engagement with accountable institutions, and to take the basic KYC seriously. Once the KYC protocols are seriously aligned and they are followed, it makes it easier for transactional red flags identification to be picked up at the early stages. And to that extent, they can investigate and the losses to be minimized and the red flags to be identified. And the dangers it comes with when it comes to breaches for which people may lose their monies, they could be curtailed at the shortest possible time. Until that is done, the banks as accountable institutions have a duty of call to report suspicious transactions to the FIC as a first point of call. From the Compliance Association, that's one of the things we have to do, and we have done it over the years. But to the extent that these losses keep on going on, it means that the risk assessment across the banking industry will have to be realigned and reviewed again, and the KYC procedures will have to be improved. I seriously believe at the stakeholders meeting and at the compliance session, if the FIC and the central bank governance and all the other banks that play a key role come together, they will be able to do something that the losses next year could be minimized as compared to 2023 and 2024.
Mr. Kumado, I'll come back to you. I'm coming back to you, DSP Mensah, because I know that in just this month alone, you arrested maybe just a couple of days ago, you arrested some 79 suspects in Tema and the eastern regions as part of efforts to ensure that you're protecting us. Beyond these, and you've spoken about the highways as well, yes. What else do we need to know just for us to be assured that during this season, we're safe all around?
Yes, as I said earlier on, in fact, as a police administration, we are not sitting just down like that. Just even last week and then even this morning, what we are putting in place is what we call interagency collaboration. Not only the Ghana Police Service, we brought on board the army, the military, the prisons. All of us are putting our hands on deck so that at least we'll get the numbers and they will be on the street, not only the Ghana Police Service. So these are some of the things we are putting in place in order to beef up security.
Was it part of the reason you organized that inter-security agency
march this morning? That was why we did that.
To what extent do you think that march, for instance, would arouse the consciousness of people when it comes to security, even during the season?
It's very important because if you look at the numbers, the police service alone cannot provide security for the entire nation. So we bring on board other security agencies as well. And what we do is that when we get to situations where maybe we are overwhelmed, that is where we bring in the military as well. We bring in the other security agencies to support us so that we all provide the needed security that we all need during this festive season.
Mr. Mukhtar, I realize you got something to add.
Well, of course, like they always say, and I share in that security is a shared responsibility. We cannot have the security officers in every home and on every street, every city, or every town. So we need to build goodwill with the rest of the local population and have everyone contribute to their own safety and the public safety, which means volunteering information. We are yet to build a strong culture where we're working with the police, where you are willing to volunteer information on crime, on other things relating to security in our communities, and we need to do that. This festive occasion, very certainly we would have crimes. We will have a lot of crimes happen, and in numbers and scale that we haven't had during the year, and it's typical of the season. And so we have to be deliberate in planning against opportunistic situations of crimes. We will see highway robberies because criminals are very, very intentional. They are very exploitative. They know when people travel during festive seasons, they carry goods, they carry money, they carry valuables, and so they will be targeting those individuals. In this period, we would see a spike in terms of cyber crimes. The police have done a great job in the last couple of months, and I've seen the soups, I've seen the arrests that have happened across the country, not just one part, and the numbers are huge. It's something we've been worried and we've been complaining about, and I'm happy that I'm seeing these things happen. We need to sustain that and ensure that our cyberspace is healthy for everyone's engagement. Cyberspace is meant to build as an alternative space, building our society, our economy, our business, and everything. And yet it's exploited by criminals, and we need to be working with the police, ensuring that we apprehend those individuals.
How do we stay safe within the cyberspace?
First of all, you need to be very, very aware of your space. Just like in the physical environment, you need to be aware of your your environment within the cyberspace. You do not accept, individuals, say when it comes to social media platforms, accept invitations just because the picture looks nice, the picture looks attractive, it's inviting and you accept that. Very often it's a ploy. Very often it's very deliberate to get you to accept, and then, all of us, nearly everyone on average, in a month you would get 2 or 3 of things happening intended to exploit your own vulnerability. You need to be very deliberate in terms of what links that you click. The links send you to spaces you do not have any clue as what they are meant for, because people harvest your details online by creating those links that allow you to travel into their net, and so they harvest your details. It could be your banking details, it could be the transactional details, it could be a long bit. They could take you over a longer period, engage you long enough to build some sort of goodwill, and the big thing happens, you become a victim. And so all of those are pointers that do not accept invitations from people you do not know or you do not have enough contacts with. Even when you have to be sure that these are individuals that you can verify their identities.
And during this period, we receive a lot of gifts. What happens when I receive an email, coming from a website or any delivery agency that looks very, genuine? What happens?
Well, so that's there are several issues relating to what you just said. There's something we call the posh, the posh pirates, where you actually maybe it's meant to deliver to you. You are not at home. They leave it at the doorstep, somewhere for you. People are just, looking to get that opportunity and take them. And it happens a lot, especially in spaces where door delivery is popular. And it's becoming popular in our space where people do delivery directly to others. We see in people very happy and excited to announce to the world when they get gifts. When they buy new things online, they announce, oh, I just had this dress, I just had this machine, I just had this item, or I'm going to this party. You're announcing to the world everything about your own vulnerability, and people take advantage of that. And so we have to be very concealing of our economic, financial activities as well as valuables, because they target those, and as part of that, maybe you buy a gift big enough or has some wraps and other things around it. When you unwrap it, where do you dispose this of? People could just leave it by the door side or the entrance or in public view.
Giving indication
it's an
that
indication
I have these gifts.
that something, great is happening in this home. You have Christmas trees all over. And it's exciting to have Christmas trees. It announces the season, and kids are happy to see that. And yet it's the same, you're exposing your own vulnerability. It means that something great is happening in this household. They might have more money, they might have more valuables that could be exposed. So all of those are pointers. And whilst we cannot, not show these, things, we have to protect ourselves in terms of exposing those vulnerabilities to criminals.
Earlier, you were talking about the Tamale incident and the baby theft and the role of parents. In this season, what specifically would you expect family people to do to ensure that everybody is protected?
Well, like I mentioned, we have a very strong social and communal culture, and that allows people, to engage, to mingle, to work with, to see each other, in good faith, in dealing with each other. And yet people take advantage of that. I would advise that families, you have families with you. In the case of this lady, unfortunate situation that happened, if she had family with her at the time, I don't think that this would have happened. We need to be able to, and it's the same way for every single security measure. You do not walk alone. You do not, engage alone. Have family with you. Have somebody with you. We need to be conscious of security. We need to share information with law enforcement or community members who could help. Those things can keep us, safe from these things.
Mr. Kumado, what have you got to add in terms of how to ensure that even as family, we're able to, our actions and inactions protect the members?
Basic security awareness at home is key. When you live alone and you have valuables, do not expose it to the whole world. Once you live alone, then it becomes a different thing. That do not necessarily mean that living alone means that you have enough vulnerabilities. How you live your life and what you live with and where you live in matters. If you live in a high-intensity crime area, then your key observation strategies will be different from somebody who lives in an area where the police can be at beck and call. If you live in an area where it's a community living, your manners and your measures in terms of safety is different. So it depends on where you live, what is happening around you, and the tendencies and the likelihood of a crime happening. That will determine your protective measures and your safety measures put in place. In some other situations, it could just be a precautionary measure and you'll be good to go. When you ramp in that to the larger space of Christmas activities, when you know you are not going to be home most of the time, then you need to plan your leaving and your coming back in a manner that does not expose you. But when your back is against the wall, what I always advise people is that get in touch with the police. We have a major issue in this country where our emergency lines are too scattered, and there are no convergence criteria for calling one number and emergency services come to your end. But make it an effort and a conscious effort that you will get to the police. And from what I have seen so far, working together with the other agencies, I want to believe that the responsive nature of the police methodology they have put in place means that they will get to where you are within the shortest possible time. So the police is your friend. Get to them and let's celebrate this month.
Get to them, let's celebrate well. But
Said.
Okay, I wanted to, yes, I'll let you come in, but I wanted to get some quick response, really, follow up from you, Mr. Kumado, because at the end of the day, one of the challenges is also that kind of trust that the community people need to be able to relay information to them. How do you expect the communities, of course, with individuals in there to collaborate better with the police so they're able to help deal with crime as soon as possible when they identify them?
The police is your friend. Live a hygienic social media lifestyle. If you think your online have vulnerabilities, get to the CID blog. There's a whole department there for cybersecurity. Speak to Uncle JB and you will be sorted, or you go to Airport City and speak to the cybersecurity authority. But when it comes to day-to-day living, then when it comes to community living, the police is your friend. And I'm happy we have a senior police officer in the studio to tell us about quick numbers to call. But my dealing with the police, I've given that assurance and that confidence that the police are willing to do more within the period, to be able to be more accessible and to get to the inner corners where there are darkness and where we know there are crime hubs, to be able to curtail many of these things that are going to come. But remember, your personal security is your personal responsibility. And to the extent that you know that the police is your friend, let's get involved. Let's get to know the police. Let the police also get to know the people. Issue of confidentiality should not be coming out at all. To that extent, if the police misconduct themselves and do not act accordingly, there could be sanctions against them. Their officers are very much aware of this particular act.
DSP, you wanted to add something to it?
Yes, what Mr. Kumado said. We have the National Operations Center, which has been activated as part of measures put in place. And also we have the Regional Operations Center, which has also been activated across the country. You can call these numbers 1-855-191 or 112. Any of these numbers, when you call, we'll receive it. If you have any information you want to share with us, we'll take it and then we'll take action on that. So we've activated both the National Operations Center and then the Regional Operations Center across the country.
There's a message from Akwatai Dennis. It says, hello, good evening, TV3 Ghana. Merry Christmas to you all. Please tell the police that when their men are deployed, they should be doing their job with dignity and stop worrying drivers and taking money. What kind of message have you sent to your men during this season? Like, I mean, it's something that a lot of people have encountered with.
I think he is not specific enough, but then we, as the police service, we have a mandate to execute. Ours is that we want our men to behave professionally. So I don't know the kind of maybe unprofessional...
no, but they stop us all the time.
Yes,
they say,
it's
madam,
part of our
Christmas
strategies.
Season, or
it's part
this
of our
weekend.
strategies. No senior officer will send somebody to go and take Christmas gift or whatever it is, please. The point is, we are there to perform our mandate as police officers and to assist the public to enjoy the Christmas.
Mr. Mukhtar.
Yes, and I think that we need to help the police, in projecting the positive aspects of what they're doing. It is true, there may be a few bad nuts in there, and it is true, we've seen that. But we're seeing also significant numbers of police officers who are exemplary. I'm not sure whether you've seen videos recently of a police officer who stops, a rider and engages him and actually almost like schooling him about safety, like a tourist guide about his safety, the safety of others, and the driving public. It was very exemplary, and I think that we need to use those to promote what they do as peace officers or security officers. I wanted to contribute to what Mr. Komodo was speaking about, and also our police officer here. Majority of our population will rely on non-state security actors for security and not the state. And
How do you mean by that?
so out of 10 situations, on 7 occasions, when something happens to you, you're going to reach out to somebody else and not the state, not the police. It's your friend, it's your neighbor, it's your pastor, your friend, your colleague. He's the immediate source of security for you and not the state. And the reality is police numbers are few. We have very limited police numbers across the country. And very often, we tend to speak about security in the context of the urban space, say in Accra. And yet, majority of us are outside of that space. And so we need to be very comprehensive in looking at what security needs that we have as a nation. And so when you come to the urban center, majority of us live in rented spaces in urban centers. And yet we're seeing a growing sophistication in urban life where people could live in rented spaces and they live very, very private lives.
They don't even know
They
their
hardly
neighbors.
talk to the next person next door. They hardly know their names. They hardly engage. And when something happens to you, it's almost like you're on your own. And something so ugly could happen and nobody gets to know until the worst, situation arrives. And so we need to change that. We need to build a community culture. Even if it's within that limited space of the household, it's important because that's our immediate source of security. We like to encourage people to call the police when there's a security incident, but we know we could be constrained by logistics. The time it takes for a security officer to respond. You have a neighbor next door. Is it possible that we can build a culture where we rely on our immediate neighbors, our own household, the community around, in responding to our own security needs before even police arrive? Because in reality, that is what our security architecture is. It's not just a state; it's a non-state space. It's the bulk of the security, that we have.
Which perhaps is the reason Mr. Kumado said that your security is your personal responsibility, right?
Exactly. It's your personal responsibility. And to the extent that you need extra, help to deal with your own security, that's why the states, is available. The states in the security is available for us. But in reality, in practice, the immediate, source of our security is us and the system around us before the state arrives.
And you're still here on Agenda on TV3. We're talking about security during this festive season and how to ensure that you protected your valuables as well as your loved ones. When we come back, we'll look at any long-term reforms that are needed to ensure that individuals get the maximum security needed. Do stay with us.
When you're going to buy a pen, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The Luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you're going to buy a pen, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab
The Breakout Edition is heating up, and your votes are the power behind every performance. This season, your vote doesn't only keep your favorite contestant on the stage, it also gives you the chance to win big. The voter who sends in the highest number of votes by the end of the season walks away with the brand new Nasco chest freezer. It's simple. Pick up your phone and vote for your favorite contestants to the short code on your screen, and keep those votes coming. Support your star, boost their journey, and you just might walk away with a super cool freezer. Mentor, discovering the next big star and rewarding you for believing.
When you're going to buy a pen, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab.
You're still here on Agenda on TV3. My name is Beatrice Adu, and tonight we're helping you get the tips you need to ensure that you're safe, your valuables are protected, as well as your family members during this festive season. I do have in the studio with me DSP Richmond Mensah. He's staff officer with the Police Public Affairs Department. Also, right here on my right side, Mr. Mutari Mumuni Mukhtar, Executive Director, West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism. We do have a video call with us, Mr. Richard Kumado, who is a fraud and security consultant. Before we went on that break, DSP wanted to respond to the Tamale baby theft and what the police has to say on it.
Yes, with the Tamale baby theft incident, immediately the incident happened, police launched a full-scale investigation into the matter, where 3 suspects have so far been arrested and 5 witnesses also invited to the police station. We have taken statements from them and they are on bail now. So this is the position we find ourselves. We have activated our intelligence, and I know definitely the perpetrator will be arrested. So far, this is the situation in town. Okay,
there's a message from Aziz Donla in the Upper West region. He said, I personally think the police is doing well, most especially this festive season, because their visibility and education on the road is very revealing and impactful. So that's from Aziz Donla to you. But I'm coming back to you, Mr. Richard Kumado, because at the end of the day, you're also, yes, earlier you said that you agreed with the immediate steps given us by DSP as regards what the police service is doing to protect us this season. But are there any really surveillance or policing reforms that you're looking forward to that would even help in an emergency response?
Definitely, to the extent that we will encourage the police to put themselves a bit more on the line for civilians. And in doing so, public education is so important. Security awareness creation, irrespective of where they find themselves, is also important. And it's part of what they do in maintaining law and order. Then again, we will also encourage civilians to stop attacking the police officers. We will encourage civilians to support the police in the work they do. That level of support encourages them. That is to say that during festive season such as this, do not send fufu or do not send babu or keke to the police, but you will not breaking the law if you give them some few bottles of mud or some few bottles of syrup to pull down their throat and to get a job done. Last week, there was a regional crime conference where the IGP and the CID lady boss spoke about the need for crime investigation. That was very timely, and I know many of the things they have done behind the scene. Encouragement is one of them, morale is one of them, motivation is one of them. And all this can be achieved when the police work together with the strategic leader they have. If they continue in this drive, I will not be surprised they will become #1 police officers within the Africa zone.
Mr. Mukhtar, in terms of reforms that you're looking at, beyond what DSP told us?
Well, at the moment, I think that a lot of things are happening within the crime space in Ghana in terms of sophistication. And traditional tools and approaches would not cut it. We need to go beyond the traditional approaches to security measures to include technology and digital tools. And I know the police service has made some promises about, example, body cameras that helps in investigation, that help track activities and interactions between officers and the public. And it helps a lot in terms of investigations and bringing to closure very complex issues. Beyond that, we need to see a policy relating to CCTV cameras in public spaces, on streets that, in a way that can help change outcomes when it comes to dealing with crimes. If we had CCTV cameras on public places, it would significantly help the police in apprehending criminals in real time. Very often, I've made the point or the argument that security measures are less important than, or security incidents are less important than our responses to them. How we respond to the security incidents is what determines our capacity, our resilience, and what we are capable of doing when it comes to crime. Like what he mentioned, he talked about the situation in Tamale, the baby theft situation. At the moment, it's less about the crime that has been committed. It's more about how we respond to it. Do we have, surveillance systems in place in this particular facility? It would significantly have reduced the workload on police officers on this case. So there's a need to have a policy that mandates public, places, certain public places to begin with, to install, surveillance systems to monitor, to report, to regulate, and to ensure that we minimize these incidences from happening. And that is true for many other public places in the country. And we need to bring a policy that makes that mandatory for all institutions.
Officer, how far would you say you've gone with that? Because last week we talked about the DVLA, the Road Safety Authority, and the fact that now Okada riders have been given the permission to operate commercially. And one of the things that came up was cameras. And the Acting Director General, Abraham Amaliba, for the Road Safety Authority told us that already there are cameras installed all around the country to ensure that people are caught. Mr. Mukhtar is raising issues about cameras to catch thieves. Yes,
it's very important. Technology plays a very key role. And that is one of the policy that this administration is also trying to bring up. If you've heard of the Traffic Ghana, using technology in dealing with road safety issues. Unlike where we look at the police officers, traditionally we see them directing traffic and all those things. No, we are now coming in with traffic tech, where police officers that we see them at the roadside, we will not see them, but then we use technology to come up.
Are the cameras really installed like Mr. Maliba told us last week?
Yes.
So you have the cameras to catch the thieves?
We have done that.
I'm coming to you, Mr. Kumado. Okay, you wanted to add something briefly.
Yeah. So I know that there's been quite some good progress made by the police administration on many of the things that we've been talking for years and years when it comes to, say, body cameras and other things. I know that the body camera thing is still something that the police administration needs to do. And of course, I'm not a police officer, so I can say some things to the extent that I think that I'll be happy to say the minister is doing a great job.
Which of the ministers? The Interior Minister?
Interior,
okay.
Is doing a great job. We've had some interactions relating to procurement in terms of equipment for officers, not just the police, but other, and I'm talking specifically about the immigration officers. And I think that we need to appeal to the ministry to commit to doing certain things or to fulfilling certain promises, especially the body cameras aspect of the policing. It's so important. It's not just for the police or it's not just for the public. It's for everyone's safety and everyone's good when it comes to security. We need body cameras, and we need that like yesterday to ensure that we, dealing with crime in a way that helps change outcomes. And
Mr. Kumada, I'll be coming to you very shortly, but let me ask you, DSP, how do we build a culture of safety, trust, and shared responsibility?
Yes, security itself is a shared responsibility. It is not only the Ghana Police Service that can provide for all of us. So what we are saying is that we bring in everybody on board, especially the general public as well. We want them to understand that security is a shared responsibility, and we are always available. Anytime they have any information about crime being committed, our doors are open from the national level to the regional level. You can walk into any of the police stations and offer information for the police service so that we also act upon it. And I'll take this opportunity to put out our emergency numbers. We have 1-855-555, 1-855-555, we have 191, we have 112. If you find yourself in any difficult situation, just get in touch with the police and we'll be able to come to your assistance.
Mr. Kumado, I'm coming to you with the same question. Beyond the fact that you said police is your friend, how do we do that?
Okay, so basically I want to say that at the national security structure we have now, CCTV helps the police in terms of monitoring, but that responsibility lies not with the police, it's with the National Bureau. I wanted to correct that notion. The police will have the CCTV being monitored, but if you look at the national security structure we have now, installation of CCTV cameras across the country falls directly into the remit of the National Bureau. Now, when it comes to trust, transparency between the police and the civilians is key. It builds trust. Openness builds trust. Communication between police officers and the general public builds trust. Investigations and the conclusiveness of it also builds trust. Prosecution of crimes, when people know that they can trust the police in prosecuting their crime, what builds trust. Then, of course, confidentiality, where people know that without police ABCD, it will remain so until the police get to the final destination. So that is that supposed to be. I'm happy the senior police officer put out the numbers again: 1-855-555, 112, then 192 for all events. Patrons, everywhere you are this Christmas, they should be the numbers you should save on your phone, and they should be at your fingertips, and I think the police will come to your aid.
Mr. Mukhtar, your final words and recommendations.
Yeah, I think in terms of this season, it's a great season of celebrations, and nothing should prevent any family or individuals from having a great time during the season, and that people should go about their duty feeling happy, feeling free to celebrate the occasion. But of course, working with police officers, being willing to call the police officer and report any suspicious activities or sense of safety, insecurity they feel. But more importantly, we need to build a community sense of living. We cannot, do anything beyond that, away from that. We need to build that. And it's unfortunate that in urban spaces, we are drifting away from those values, building a sense of community wherever we live. Because security, it goes beyond, just me and me and me. You need that sense of community to build that sense of safety and, happy living. We need to build that community sense. So if you have neighbors that we've not been, interacting with, this is an opportune time to say hi, to say Merry Christmas, to say Happy New Year, and begin a new relationship of building community life and building a sense of, communal society. That way, we can help build security and peace in our communities.
There's another message from WA. It says the IGP should deploy his men to Market Square, especially in the night, because some criminals will use this festive season as an operation season instead of a season of celebration. So it's not so clear. I don't know whether you're concerned about arson, market fires and all of that, but at least that's the message to you. Your final words in terms of what people should be doing and also additional information regarding what the police service is doing to protect everyone.
Okay, what I'll tell the general public is that we should all remind ourselves that as individuals, your security is in your hands. And two, the police, they should be rest assured that the Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with other sister security agencies, we are ready to provide security for the general public as they go about celebrating their Christmas. So they should be rest assured. Always remind themselves that we have our emergency numbers there, 1-855-555, 191, and 112. If you are in distress, kindly call us and we'll attend to you.
Thank you so much. DSP Richmond Mensah, Staff Officer with the Ghana Police Service Public Affairs Department. Thank you for joining us on Agenda. To you as well, Mr. Mutaru Mumuni Mukhtar, Executive Director, West Africa Center for Counter-Extremism. And of course, to you as well, Mr. Richard Kumado, Fraud and Security Consultant. Thank you as well for joining us on Agenda. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Do join us again next week. Have a Merry Christmas.